Hello, welcome to Literarily Wasted.
Hi.
We, as you can see, we have a very special guest host with us today. It's Leanne, and she's here. She's here in. She's here in our house. It's a lit wasted mini meetup here in Hoover, Alabama. And Benny's here too. Say hi. Don't put your slobber hands on it. Okay, so it is what is it? April.
It's April.
It's April.
Sorry.
You can just stay muted because your mic's coming through here, so it's all good.
Okay.
But now we know the feedback works.
Yeah.
That was good. That was like probably what it sounded like on Station
welcome.
Eternity. They say, "Holy shnikes, hey Leanne," says Adrian.
Hey.
Everybody's saying hi Leanne, hi Leanne. Woo, go Leanne. Leanne's getting all the shout outs. And Christy's hair.
Yeah, it's new.
Chrissy's new hair.
Talk about your hair.
Oh,
Great. Well done. Okay, so it's April. This is April, and we are here to discuss Station Eternity by Mur Lafferty. Yes? No, slobber hands. Slobber hands. Okay, now he wants it. We'll say bye to Benny, everybody. Benny's going to go have fun with Grandma. And he just disappears into the air, into the sky.
it's magic.
Where did Benny get all that hair? No, he got nothing from me, clearly. Benny's almost 1.
Yeah, he turns 11 months on Friday.
So I haven't. Oh no, the comment sections are becoming.
Oh,
do I have to do the thing?
You
I have to do
do.
the.
You
Okay,
do.
all right, fine. Who's here? Adam. Well, hi, Tammy and Kristen and Giggles and Kristen and Randall and Emily. Hi, Nicole and Jeff and Brandy and Brenda and Cindy and Tiffany and Adrian. Hi, Jennifer, Willa, Judy and Stacy and Brandy and Nicole and Kristen. Hi, Martin and Judy and Cindy and Emily and Stephanie and Jeff and Brandy and Cindy and Nicole and Emily and Stacy and Brandy and Tiffany and Martin and Emily and Adrian and Jennifer and Martin and Judy and Adrian and Ken and Judy and Cindy and Brandy and Martin. It was all the same people. And hi.
That was excellent.
Much better than what I would have done.
I don't know about that.
Don't worry, Talia's coming back.
Yeah, she's probably watching. She's probably watching and being like, "Ooh."
She just cringed
Yeah,
real hard.
her ears are bleeding. But hi, everybody, and we are so excited to have Leanne here to help us talk about Station Eternity. And to all of you who are currently finishing the book, hey, Brandy, let us know what you thought. You want to just dive right in and say, all right, what'd y'all think of this book, just in general terms? Who wants to go first?
I mean, I'll go first.
Okay.
I really liked it. I mean, it's obviously has some flaws, but it was really fun and the setting was really cool. And we're going to talk about all the things that I liked and did not like later.
Okay. Foreshadowing. Leanne, what'd you think?
I liked it. It was fun and interesting. I did also like the different settings and the different character perspectives. And there were some things that, could have been better. But overall, I liked it.
Okay. I had a bit of a different opinion about it. I thought that it had a really good premise. I thought it had really good potential. I really liked the setup of Mallory and her sort of attracting murder and death and stuff. But then it just went off the rails for me. Like it went crazy, and it was like all of a sudden we're getting all these POVs, and all of a sudden it's like, and it just lost me. Like it lost me somewhere along the way. Like I think as soon as the the humans, the shuttle got attacked and stuff, I think that's when it just like it went weird for me, and I guess it just wasn't really what I thought it was going to be, and so I struggled through this one, but I made it.
You did.
I did finish the book, but there were things that I liked about it. There were a lot of things I didn't like about it, and things I didn't like about it really were, I would say, like, and we can talk about it, like structure. I think just the way that the book was crafted to me was, I think, where it lost me.
That's fair. And I think like it advertised itself as one thing and then gave us something very, very different, which is okay to a certain extent, but I think that it kind of did this book a disservice. And like the first like 5 or 6 chapters were really strongly on Mallory's perspective, and then it jumped all over the place after that, which was really interesting because I don't know if we had 2 chapters together that were of the same perspective after like the first 5 or 6 of Mallory's, which was, I don't know, kind of threw me.
Yeah. But there were also like sections within chapters, and there were time jumps within chapters. Like we'd be sort of framed by the chapter would be framed by present day, and then we'd get a backstory, and then we'd go back to present day, and all of a sudden we'd be with somebody else. So yeah. But yeah, that's, the end. But we had a little bit of a discussion before this, and Leanne's got some theories about some stuff.
Yeah.
But
I took notes and everything. Show them your tabs and stuff.
Oh, now here we go. Look at that.
Yeah, very exciting.
I was working from home today, and this was what I was doing.
So Stacy says, I wanted more aliens. Ken said it was great. Willa said, didn't have time to read it, so I'm here to listen, decide if I'm going to read it later or not. Well, we'll see. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are after we're done. Tammy says, I liked it, except I didn't like the rushed ending.
Yeah.
I liked it, but got distracted.
I
feel like it got distracted too.
Yeah, the ending felt not only rushed but unfinished, like not fully fleshed out.
Yeah, and it was that, and like, maybe it sets you up for a season. And then this is a series, right?
Yeah.
But can you at least finish the story that we're on?
Yeah. And so, like, for me, I guess we can get into it. So we have Mallory, who starts out as the main character, but doesn't really quite end up as, like, all of a sudden, like, I thought we were getting Murder, She Wrote meets Babylon 5. And it did start out that way. And then like somewhere along the way, we lost the murder mystery part of it. Like, it was still there. It was still like, who killed Ren?
Well, but also
and what happened?
The murder mystery part of it was all over the place. Like, what was the murder mystery? Because they kept introducing more murder mysteries. And I feel like the whole thing got kind of convoluted. Because you had like William Williams the third.
Yeah.
That's not a real name.
William Williams.
Yeah. So you had that murder mystery that has not been solved. And then you had what her cousin, Desmond Jr. Well, no, Uncle Des is the one who died, and Desmond Jr. is the one who got framed for it.
Yeah, he got jailed.
So you had that murder mystery, and then you had Ren, and then you had the shuttle. So like what? There were so many murder mysteries that it felt a little cluttered.
Mystery on mystery. And then I also didn't feel like really Mallory did
any of the solving.
Yeah.
Well, and we find out at the end that she's just kind of getting fed information too. So, oh yeah, so many characters. I always make a character list, and here's from finger to finger is the character list, which is way, way more than usual. And this is just like characters I actually wanted names of.
Nicole went to grade school with Willie Williams.
Yeah. Is
Jr.
he okay?
Yeah, is he all right? Okay, so yeah, the murder mystery to me was, I guess, initially like, who killed Ren, and then also like,
and who attacked the shuttle?
Why did the shuttle get it? Because we knew kind of right away that Eternity attacked the shuttle, right? Like, that wasn't too much of a mystery.
But we didn't necessarily know why.
Yeah. and then they did these interviews with everybody, and it was very samey. It was very like please give me some new information. It was all like they talked to literally everybody, and everybody's like, yeah, we were on the shuttle and stuff happened, and then the station reached out and talked to our mind, and then I blacked out and woke up here. I was like,
Yes.
oh, there's literally no
It's
new
exactly the same. Yay.
and so we know that oh yeah, Tina plus Calliope.
Oh my gosh, what an epic duo.
And then it was just like
It's
so
like heaven help that planet.
Yeah, really.
So we were introduced to all these alien races, and I think it's really interesting that humans are the only ones that don't have symbiotes. I really like that concept of like everybody
and they're
else
looked down on because of it.
Yeah, like everybody else, every other alien race in this world universe has a symbiotic relationship with something except humans, and then all of a sudden I guess we find out later that that's also not true. Like humans also can and do. It just I don't really know how to unpack this, like, because there's so many different threads, so many different characters, and I guess I'll go ahead and like say that I felt like I was getting Hyperion'd a little bit.
Oh yeah, you
Like-
did mention that.
Like we get like the first bit of Mallory, and then stuff happens, and the shuttle gets attacked and all that stuff, and then I feel like we're in Hyperion. We're like getting individual backstories of all these characters, and then we find out that Adrian, the ambassador, has been Martin Silenist into the Tree of Thorns, and I was like, are we doing Hyperion again? Is that what this is? But it really just wasn't.
Didn't make it there. Maybe that's in book 2.
How did this book end up almost weirder than the one with dolphin sex? Yeah, we got to the part where
there were no crabs.
There were no crabs.
Sadly,
There's still time.
it
There's
was
like 2
lacking
more
in
books.
Uh,
crabs.
Yeah, a distinct lack of crabs,
Mhm.
but an abundance of rock people.
Yes, the nice.
Nice. Yeah. I guess I looked at that word a lot. I never really, I guess I read it as nice, but like now hearing you say nice is like NICE. I'm like, oh.
I know. That's
I
how
kind of called it niece.
I wanted to call it nice, but in the audiobook they say nice.
Ah,
so that's
okay.
And I started with the audiobook, so when I started reading the actual book, it carried over.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Intrigued by one reference to cancer being a human symbiote.
Yeah.
That was an interesting reference.
Well, and she also said like tapeworms and stuff. Like there are creatures that kind of latch on, but it's not
Those
symbiotic.
are not necessarily. Yeah, they're not symbiotic. They're parasitic.
Mhm.
They're detrimental. The symbiotic relationship is one that is beneficial to both.
Yeah. And there's like a kind of a two-way communication street, I think.
Mhm.
In the symbiotic relationships.
Well, okay, so since we're talking about the symbiotic relationships, what is the relationship for nice?
That's a good question, because it seemed like their relationship was with like the shuttles.
Or with
It's-
the rest
it's-
of their race?
Yeah, it's generational.
Okay.
That doesn't count.
It's with themselves, but it's like,
But
it's generational, carries down.
but I guess it's on a different level too, like of communication. Like it's more of a telepath. I don't know.
Well,
Growly.
And Zan has the symbiotic relationship with Infinity, his ship. And that's a nice ship, isn't it?
It's
No,
Eternity's.
it's
Eternity's
Eternity's daughter.
Eternity's daughter, that's right.
Honestly, I knew when Mallory went in the ship and she's looking at the captain's chair and she's like, oh, getting her weird vibes. I'm like, oh, Zan merged with the ship. I knew it then.
I did not catch on to that until they told us.
So I actually, because of how I felt about the book, kind of stopped trying.
Mm.
Like I kind of stopped trying to like put the pieces together because the pieces were wacky. They were so like all over the place, and like you know, you're moving along, and all of a sudden you get to a point where there's a big battle in the ossuary with a bunch of rock zombies, and you're like, what? Like I read that part like last night at like 2 a.m. So I thought I was dreaming, but I wasn't. It just was. I was like, this is bonkers.
Okay, but that scene was bonkers because at one point Lovely pulls out her violin to play like the perfect
The high
note to
G.
put them back to sleep. Like it is bonkers. That's a great word for it.
It's bonkers, and also, um, the Nice are very slow moving, so it's not exactly like an action sequence.
No.
It's like I think they even said like it's like standing in front of a car that's only going 5 miles an hour. Like it's still dangerous, but it looks like the steamroller scene from Austin Powers.
And sadly, we're missing out on Talia's opinion on zombie rocks,
Rock
Yeah.
zombies.
rock zombies. But, you know, it's the bugs. What are they called?
The
the
sundry.
Sundry. Because, you know, Mallory's like, hey, I get the feeling she's going to need this. So the Sundry knew
true.
that that a note could do what it did and slow them down.
And
So
even Lovely said that she knew about the G being the vibration frequency of the Nice. She played the low G, and it amped them up, and they were like, oh, and then she played the high G, and it subdued them.
yeah, because she was like, oh, when she saw what it was doing. So
Oh yeah, they were symbiotic with themselves, but then in order to evolve, they have to absorb biomass. Well, that was like one of the ways. That's like that's a cheat sheet way of.
Well, they can do it with vegetation, and that takes forever.
It takes a long time.
Yeah, but that was really interesting because Tina absolutely absorbed some of Calliope's personality.
Oh yeah.
And I hope we see a lot more of that character in book 2, because if not, I don't even want to go there.
yeah, Tina was super fun then.
Oh yeah.
Tina was such a bizarre character on the whole. Like the whole trio of Nice, like Stephanie, Ferdinand, and Tina, like kind of came out of nowhere because we were introduced to Stephanie early on, and then I guess later we got Tina and Ferdinand. And Tina was such a space cadet.
Ta-dum-bum.
We had a lot of interesting characters in this book because you had Tina, who was so flighty and odd, and then you had Calliope, which is just chaos embodied. But I know, so I saw a lot of comments that people were really thrown by all of the flashbacks and like all of like the stories before of like all of the different characters, but I loved those. I don't know if they really made sense in this book, but I love those characters and I love those stories. I loved Adrian's backstory with like he was just a really angry, hateful kid who learned that German had a word for everything.
He fell in love with language.
And he fell in love with language. And I loved that chapter. And I loved Calliope's chapter where she's just I loved Lovely's chapter where her grandmother's coming to like get her out of her funk, and we get to learn about her being the wedding dress vigilante. Like again, I'm not sure they made sense in this book, but they were so much fun.
It's Hyperion. We just got a bunch of fun backstories of things. But we were also kind of trying to find out what the connections are, because this is a murder mystery. We got to make connections. And that to me was, I think, one of the more disappointing parts of this book, is that there were connections, but it was just okay. And also like
they weren't necessary.
There was a bit of a divine, I want to say like sort of a divine intervention, I guess, because the shuttle was attacked and the people that survived were important. Like they were all the survivors were like related. Like none of, the only
Mm.
one that died was like, poison. It was not because of the shuttle attack. So it's like everybody that was on the shuttle that died was inconsequential to the story itself. Like the people that survived played a role somehow.
Yeah, that is kind of odd.
Yeah, so it feels a little bit like there's some sort of it was part of a plan. I don't know,
Yeah.
for lack of better words, which I guess it was just a happy accident. Happy accident. Shuttle riders are red shirts. Yeah,
Yeah. All the millionaires, right?
yeah,
Oh,
all the
that's the
VIPs,
day,
the
yeah.
people in first class, and we had Mrs. Brown being like, "See, I told you, we're not
Aren't you
going
glad we didn't spend that extra money
Yeah.
to upgrade? Mrs. Brown was great.
Oh, I love Mrs. Brown.
Mrs. Brown."
I could read a whole book about her, actually.
You almost did
No,
in this one.
not even
There was
close.
several chapters dedicated to Mrs. Brown.
And I loved it. I thought
Yeah,
it was
I
great.
loved her. I will when I was reading at the end of chapter 26, I went, oh,
Oh, I know.
When she got spaced,
Yes.
or like spaced.
and I was like, no.
I was so sad when she got spaced, but I also didn't think she actually got spaced.
I was hoping she didn't.
but I would have appreciated if she had, just because like I do like a book with real stakes, and I'm not
Mhm.
sure we got that because even Calliope, who died, merged with Tina.
And I like how she was taking it upon herself to repair the station and try to fix things.
Yeah.
And when I saw she was doing that, I was like, oh, that would be great if she could meet Eternity, because maybe that would work. And then she get, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's gonna fix it. Oh my gosh, what just happened?
Turns out it all worked out because she became the new symbiote for
Mhm.
Eternity, whereas Adrian got Martin Salinas.
And she made so much sense as Eternity's symbiote. Like she just cares and she wants to do the right thing, and I don't know, she had the right frame of mind. You could just tell.
I guess I
To protect and clean things up.
didn't
It was the
really
mom.
get enough of. I guess what I would have liked to have seen as a compliment to that would have been more Eternity's personality,
Yeah.
because we didn't really get a lot of. We just got like the station is angry.
Well, like Eternity was super playful, I feel like at first, and just like kind and playful, and then something super tragic and oh gosh, what's the word? Bad happened to it, and it just had yeah, I know, I gave it up. But it had to deal with that, and it dealt with that for the majority of the book.
Jeff, I love Hyperion. But yeah, like Eternity, for being the name of the book, I want to know more about you.
Yeah,
Tell me more about you, girl.
that's fair.
But the whole thing with sentient space stations, sentient shuttles and vehicles, and it's all fascinating. The Sundry was fascinating. It just, the book, I feel like, just didn't really know what it wanted to be.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It was all over the place, and it suffered because of it. We haven't talked about
Zan,
Phineas,
Phineas,
salty fats.
salty fats. Man, what a bad luck case there. What a tragic story.
That
That
story was heartbreaking, and I really enjoyed reading it. Also, like it's just another backstory that was great.
well,
No, not great. It was great to read and very sad.
such a tragic. I mean, like with the abusive grandmother, and favoring Phineas all of their lives until she had a stroke, and then all of a sudden Phineas is the bad guy.
Yeah. What I found really interesting, I went and was skimming through the book today just to remind myself, and Mallory tells Zan the story of how she met Salty Fats while she's doing the spacewalk thing, and she basically tells the entire story that we get in the backstory for Phineas, almost everything.
Wait, what?
So Salty Fats tells Mallory one of his relatives
His
has
grandma, he's got to go
got
and take care of
sick.
her.
He has to
and
quit the movie to go take care of her. He's really sad, and she's also gotten really mean. And then like he's really mad at his brother for like leaving him, and like just everything that's in that story that we see in the flashback, he told to her, and she told to Zan. And I thought that was really interesting. And no, I do not think she fell down
No.
the stairs.
I think I would have pushed. I would have pushed Grandma down the stairs accidentally on purpose.
Grandma definitely got
I
pushed.
think she had some help.
Oh, she had all the help. But yeah,
And that whole thing was tragic too, because really he shouldn't have pushed her down the stairs, but he had no choice but to like completely stop his life to go take care of someone who treated him so poorly and treated everybody she met so poorly. And it's just really sad.
yeah, and the connection between Zan and Mallory, there was all that there. Like we found out like way later that like people were sent to bring Mallory back. Right, that was like almost in the epilogue, right?
Well, also they did. It was the superior officer that was Cal's superior officer did mention something about there is someone else on, and so obviously my brain went, oh, it's gotta be Mallory.
Yeah, it's definitely Mallory. But like we found out that the government wanted to weaponize Mallory for her like ability to attract murder. Which is bizarre. That's like a weird like.
I mean, they have tried to, they tried to weaponize, cats. They did, they were like, let's put these bombs on dolphins. They're smart enough that they can go put them on the submarines and ship holes. It's not unheard of.
That's true.
I could see them being like, there's something funny here going on. Let's see if we can take advantage.
Yeah, let's see if we can use this to kill people. But I was thinking about Zan. This is like a weird segue, but like, and one of the things that bothered me about this book, and I told Christy this already, but it to me there was too much of the like that trope of like, we have to do this. How do you know? I can't tell you that right now, but like
I wanted to like beat Zan with a shoe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just say things. Just talk. You have the time. There's really rarely ever an instance where it's like, we don't have the time. I can't tell you. Just trust me.
Trust me.
I'll tell you
just
later.
Come on. Yeah, let's do it. Do it now.
There was so much of that going on from like, mostly from Zan, I feel like. Mallory's like, tell me. Mallory's like, I already know that you know something. Just tell me. He's like,
tell me what you know.
He's like,
I'll tell you later.
Don't have time. Don't have time for that right now.
No, tell me now.
Just tell me.
So Emily posted earlier, she made a really good point that Zan and Mallory's relationship was kind of interesting. It felt like there was something there, maybe.
Like a romance?
Could be, but like it was just a hint. But I thought it was really interesting that they had the song history like through college and at William Williams's house or, party. And then they're living on this space station together and they're the only, like two of the only three humans there. And like, they still have such an odd relationship.
Yeah. Well, I was very confused as to how much time had passed.
How long they've been on the station?
First of all, I guess between college and the party. And then I guess between the party and the station, which really I guess wasn't that long.
No, it was like 10 years between college and the party, and then like 17 minutes between the party and the station almost. It was really just maybe 3 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks.
I guess I didn't realize how long it had been because I guess at the party, I still kind of pictured Zan to be who he was in college, but he was not. Zan had been through some stuff.
Yeah.
And like, not only that, but he was like integral to this God's breath thing and like the having this thing happen in Texas, and like all this stuff went down. But there was Zan experienced. We don't know what happened with Mallory. We don't know as much about what happened to her in between that time.
Well, I think she just had a lot of odd jobs, and she was solving murders, and then she was having to like move a lot because people kept dying around her, and then she started writing the books and like staying away from humans, I think.
Yeah. And I see that Adrian, I can't put the thing up here. She wanted to know what happened with the senator that Zan was feeding the information to. And did she just give up? No, she was the one who, it didn't specifically say, but I inferred that she was the one that gave Cal's, what is her name? Cal's old commanding officer, that lady.
I don't remember. Opal, yeah.
Yes. And she was the one that had given her the drives to give to Cal and Phineas. It didn't specifically say, but she did like infer that she had a contact that she was doing this for. So I believe that she was the one that did it.
Yeah, and the senator met with Opal, and Opal was like, ugh, and that's when Opal decided to kind of go rogue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and H2O Calliope's, she had 3 missions, and they mentioned that a lot, that she was there for 3 different things.
That was to bring Zan back, to bring Mallory back, and to test the God's breath.
Okay, thank you, because I for some reason completely missed that.
Yeah, well, it was either bring Zan back or kill him, right?
Yes,
that was the
either or.
What?
And then Adrian, he had several things he was supposed to do too.
But it never said.
Yeah.
It never said what Adrian was supposed to do. And the military guy came in talking to Adrian before he left, and he's like, "Oh, there's some things you need to do." And then it just kind of, that chapter ended, and we never got anything else. So I was like, okay.
Nothing like a loose thread that never wraps up to really get you going. I had forgotten about that. You want to talk about Aunt Kathy?
Oh yeah, Aunt Kathy.
I guess the primary villain of the story, right? Even though there were lots of villains.
I would say she was the primary villain.
She was mean and also weirdly like delusional, and like there's clearly, I guess I didn't really peg her as a serial killer, but she was clearly not right.
I think she was also clearly a serial killer.
Yeah, and I love the charm. I loved the charm bracelet, and the fact they made the joke that, oh yes, how suburban perfect mom is it that she's getting her charms for her trophies of her kills at Pandora. It's like, yeah, that's quite funny.
Yeah. So Leanne has a theory about Aunt Kathy.
I have a theory about Aunt Kathy that she is would be very proud. I believe she'd be very proud to know that she is probably the most prolific serial killer in history, if you look at it this way. We know that on the shuttle, that she gave Sam the God's breath. And it was right before Eternity started scanning everyone. When Eternity started scanning everyone, the God's breath that was in Sam's brain it's supposed to kill and or sever a contact between an alien and their symbiote. So that is what killed Ren, because he was not as strong as Eternity. And Eternity's reaction, of course, was to fight back, and then killed the 13 people in the shuttle. And then as far as Eternity restructuring and spacing people, and excuse me, not people, but
entities,
entities and sentient beings. I got some numbers and I crunched some numbers because the Sundry knew all the numbers of the sentient beings. You know, there were this many phantasmagors, there were this many nice, there were, you know, this many that. And then we find out that she killed Calliope.
Yes.
She's the one that stabbed Calliope. And then Mallory figures out at the end that she killed her mother, her guidance counselor, her school teacher. She's going to need all kinds of bracelets. And she also killed her husband. And I went and found the section about where Aunt Kathy's touching her charms so I could count the charms. So I could see, let's see, how many people did she kill? So I added all of that together. You know, the 13 people on the shuttle, the, you know, Ren and Sam. And we have
You ready for
a
this?
grand total of Aunt Kathy killing 2,979 sentient beings. So
Talk about killing 2,900 birds with one stone.
No.
Aunt Kathy, I guess, as a result of her actions of poisoning Sam, kills thousands. Would have spaced Aunt Kathy. Yeah,
For real.
Aunt Kathy. And she killed Calliope Calliope was a kleptomaniac.
Calliope had stolen her bracelet.
Yeah, so Calliope's stealing everything. And Aunt Kathy's like, oh no, you didn't. How much would that Pandora bracelet weigh?
You just drag it around, get in a wheelbarrow and drag it around behind you.
In space, nothing. Because we have
Accurate.
spaced her. We've spaced her.
We have spaced her.
Weighs nothing.
Her and her Pandora bracelet would just float off.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. Aunt Kathy. So revealing her as, I guess, the one who did it. Is that accurate to say that she is? In the whodunnit, it was Aunt Kathy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for the space station completely, it was her. And then for her husband, obviously.
Mm-hmm. That her son is suffering for in jail. Yay. I do love that she ended up shooting herself in the head because she's trying to get the bug.
That's right.
Just happened to have it. She happened to do it with her pistol hand.
Didn't kill her.
It didn't kill her.
What did kill her? She died though, right?
She did not die.
She did not die.
Oh.
But she's still on the station.
Okay. So on Discord, Steffi Weppy said, I also didn't like that the murderer never confesses. Mallory and Zan realize who the murderer is, but they never give them a chance to say why. So it's all just speculation. And that doesn't feel right.
It does feel a little.
Well, like, Kathy's still alive. Why didn't they have her have a last say?
Right. Or, I don't know. We get, look, she's going to jail.
Hopefully.
Well,
and Giggles, family is everything, but not if it means she'll be inconvenienced.
Right. Because it's going to hurt her image if she's a killer.
That would be tragic.
Really?
Well, like I said, maybe she might be, once she realizes her numbers, she might be like, yes, look at me.
It is interesting that she never killed Mallory, though.
I think mainly why she wanted Mallory back was because Mallory concealed her, because Mallory drew all the attention for the murders.
I can
so
see that.
She was able to get by with the murders because Mallory was there. And she had the history of all the murders that not necessarily were committed by Aunt Kathy, because a lot of them were not. So it was hurting her vibe. She wasn't able to kill people, man.
God, I hate when that happens. Mallory kind of became this like surrogate daughter for Aunt Kathy, and she kind of became obsessed with this idea that, like, you're my daughter now. Then she wanted her to call her mom or something like that.
She did.
She was crazy.
Just a bit.
And I guess, with that being the sort of answer to this whodunit, it's like, why all this other stuff? What is the rest of this? What is this whole thing about Stephanie trying to escape her grandfather, and her grandfather thinks that Stephanie is going to murder Tina, but they're really friends, and Stephanie just wants to evolve.
And how? Okay. He's like, you're going to murder Tina, so I'm not going to let you leave the station where Tina also lives because that's how I'm going to keep Tina safe and keep you from murdering her if you're in the same place at the same time all the time.
Yeah.
Forget weaponizing Mallory. The government should weaponize Aunt Kathy. That's true.
Excellent.
But like the whole thing was like a weird, bizarre side plot.
I get that, and it doesn't really make sense for the book, but I did love seeing like just the aliens part of it. Like I love that it wasn't just humans, and they were big characters in this story.
I thought it was interesting. And it felt like a little bit of a red herring for a minute. Like you thought that Stephanie killed Ren.
I did think that for a minute. Yes.
So there was a little bit of like a misdirection play there, but then it just became this like it was like the end of, I don't know, Blazing Saddles, or like where there's just a big brawl in the middle of this thing.
And for a while, I thought Adrian killed Ren.
That's fair.
Yeah, I thought that too, because he was there, and Zan was there, but he's like, "Don't tell anybody." Stephanie, like, I got more secrets. Like,
let's just be each other's alibi by not telling anybody crap about each other.
Yeah, I'm Zan. I just drip feed all my secrets over the course of the book. Emily says, "Can you guys touch on the epilogue? I forgot to go back and finish it. All I know, it was about the chap who died on the ship, who figured out Aunt Kat." Yeah, we did have a Sam section.
Well, I forgot.
It's mainly where Sam keeps seeing his shrink and stuff, and they're like, his family and everyone is concerned about his obsession, but then he realizes that about Aunt Kathy. He figures it out and he wants to tell her, but he's also really obsessed with her, but I don't think in a bad way. I don't think he's obsessed in a.
It was like a stalker way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of a stalker, but a friendly stalker.
Yeah, he wasn't gonna like hurt her.
Right.
He just wanted to tell her she was wrong. But he couldn't email her because she was not on the planet.
Yeah, and in space. Literally, I think that's one of the things he says, that he couldn't email her.
Couldn't email her. So like, why don't you just email her?
Because they're like, yeah, why don't you just email her? Because
she's not here right now.
So we had a Sam section, and that went all the way up until he died.
Mm-hmm.
When Eternity tried to touch his mind.
Yeah.
And then then we had just a kind of a wrap up chapter that kind of.
One thing we need to talk about is Devanshi and her little pet.
Her pet drone.
Her pet drone. That was such a delightful, unexpected little thread in this book, and I loved it. And I loved how like angry she was about it at first, and how she finally like warmed up to it.
Fine, I guess I have a pet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the spinoff I want to read.
It was so cute.
Devanshi and her pet drone, and because like then she became so into the drone that she was like teaching other people how to like do drones. It was almost a symbiotic relationship with the drone. I felt.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because of how they could communicate.
Mm-hmm. And at the end there, she also says like her and Adrian are almost friends. Like they have an understanding.
The understanding is that Adrian sucks in general.
Adrian does suck, but oh my gosh, that poor man, the things that happened to him were terrible, and the way they described it were awful. And like Devanshi just kept like
dragging him around by his...
just like this wet sack of stuff. I just
like,
what do I do with it?
Gross.
Yeah, that was funny.
And it went on and on. Every time they mentioned Devanshi, like she's just dragging him around.
It's
And
like a wet suitcase.
I felt so bad for him, but it was also kind of hilarious.
But Martin Silenus also kind of sucked. That's a Hyperion reference. Let's see. That's what's annoying about this book. There are flashes of clever whimsy that could be good setups.
Yeah, there were some lovely things about this book. So I was doing like refreshing my memory today, and I had forgotten.
Definitely leaking.
I had forgotten that the Sundry, the way that they talk, they have a sentence, and then they have like three. Oh gosh, what are they called?
Like adjectives or
Words.
adverbs to kind of
Yeah.
describe
And
the situation.
I loved that. I loved them speaking that way. And I thought that was so interesting and so fun. And like the way that this author, there's 3 humans on this station that's obviously built for not humans. And the way that they've had to like figure out how to live and how to eat and how to be, was great.
That was a lot of great setup there.
And I really wanted more of that. I thought that was, some of it was really, really well done.
It's
and
like,
then,
how is Zan eating the rocks?
Every species has their own version of coffee.
yeah, I love
Except
that.
the nicest version is lava.
Steffi Weffy on Discord said kind of similarly, I really like the first half of the book, the description of the station, how the aliens looked/lived, and how the humans have to adapt to the station, like the furniture being too large, them being wet and trying to find food to eat. But then they found the murder mystery part of the book was rushed and not really that interesting or engaging.
Yeah, you got a bunch of great little short stories, but as a cohesive whole, I feel like it just like didn't have enough connective tissue. Or,
Even though it tried to go, hey, look at all these connections.
yeah,
It tried to point out, look at all these connections, but at the same time, it's like,
it's like, okay, cool.
okay.
That's cool, I guess. Why?
Yeah.
Why these
Why?
connections? Why the necessary? Like, why all some of these characters don't even need to be in this book? Really?
Yeah, we're in space. Why are they here? Why?
Yeah, it's a lot of why. So yeah, I found myself kind of glad when I finished. It was, I guess I struggled through this one. It was hard for me, but and talking about it has helped.
Yeah.
As it always does. Brandy says same thing. First half of the book, it's like, this is great. Last half was too much.
I will say, so I started off listening to the audiobook, and the narrator did not do Mallory any favors, in my opinion. She sounded so whiny and like she was about to cry the whole time. Like the narrator sounded like she was about to burst into tears. Like when Mallory was running around freaking out about the shuttle coming. It was a lot.
That was pretty much the first section, was Mallory being like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Can we stop this? Am I going to be safe?
I will say the narrator did get better, but it was rough at first.
Terry says, I really wanted Mallory to be more of a Holmesian detective and felt like she wasn't really solving the crime so much as hanging around while it was solved. I agree with that.
Yeah.
We just didn't get enough of Mallory. And I think that was my thing. It's like, this is cool. But like, I want to be with Mallory. Like she was so interesting of a character. She had such an interesting perspective. She was able to kind of switch from panic to like crime solver mode.
Mhm.
Adrian does have an excellent point.
That doesn't make sense because it turned out the Sundry gathering clues all along.
Yeah, so it wasn't her. She just had their knowledge gathering insights.
And that kind of sucks. Because that means she didn't really earn it.
I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what the author does with it in the next book. And I don't know, like, I'm assuming it's the Midsolar murder, so I'm assuming it's Mallory and more murders. But
It did tease it at the end.
okay.
Yeah,
that it was.
boy that's
And there's
missing.
another murder, and there's more a shuttle coming and a missing kid, and Mrs. Brown is not talking to anybody or not wanting to talk to Mallory. And so I do like that Mrs. Brown was like, we're going to get some real coffee on this station. I'm like, feel you.
Stacy said, I hated Mallory. All these people were dying. She's just like, oh, poor me. She's so used to death by this point. People dying. Martin says, this is what Star Trek would be like if the Enterprise was crewed by people who won radio contests. So Starfleet choose scientists. Yeah.
Oh, there's the Star Trek box.
We
on the
did
bingo.
it.
I've got crabs and dolphins.
So on Facebook, Katie Dahl asks, which alien species would you want to be a symbiote with? Let me
From
remind
this
you.
book?
Yeah. So we have the Nice, which are rocks. We have the Phantasmagor, which do the camouflage thing, although they don't give the camouflage power, they just have it. The Sundry, which are the wasps. The Guradev, which that's Ren. And then the Caicus, which are... That's the symbiote for the Phantasmagor.
Veiny things,
Yeah,
right?
the vines.
The vines.
That they're the ones that give this camouflage, and then the silence. And I don't know
If I
what
had
the
to,
symbiote relationship is there.
if I had to pick one, which I'm not thrilled about this, I would say the Sundry probably.
You got to get sting twice.
Okay with it.
That would suck. I mean, I am there with Mallory as far as had I seen that in my room, I also would have tried to squish it.
I feel like most of us would have. I would also have tried to kill it. Well,
I mean, I'm not allergic, but I got stung on the head when I was a kid. I was epileptic when I was younger, and I got stung on the head as a kid. And a couple hours later, I had a seizure and had to go to the hospital.
Oh no.
So I have a really scary fear of stingy things.
that's fair.
You didn't even get the data.
Right?
But yeah, that would be me. Because they would be they'd just be feeding me data and stuff, and I'd be like, cool, fill my head with information.
I'm really curious though, like what a human having a symbiotic relationship with these aliens would look like, because we know some of them. We know like with Infinity, and we know with the Sundry, and I guess we also know with Eternity also. But like, what would it look like if a human and a Nice had a symbiotic relationship?
Christy, you did not answer the question.
I know. I don't know.
You didn't answer your own question.
There's not enough information.
But yeah, I picked one.
It's too close.
Yay, Brandy!
Leanne, who would you pick?
Even though with the stinging, probably the Sundry, just because I would like to know things.
Yeah, you have to
Yeah.
watch out for that.
Oh,
Adrian.
there's that. But then I'm boring, so.
Yeah, they'd be like, Adam watched the same episode of Star Trek again.
Well, see, the problem is if the Sundry are around, they already have that information. Like they're
They're watching
everywhere.
you.
Yeah, they're watching everyone.
How big did it ever go into like how big they were?
I thought that was like a big wasp.
Hate that. Hate that.
Right, hate that. Hate that
But
for sure.
I don't know if they went into much detail.
Like this big or this big or
well, just big wasp in itself.
in
is
general
too
is
much.
quite terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who would you symbiote with?
I guess the Sundry, but again, I want more information about the other relationships.
You wouldn't want to turn into a shuttle later?
No.
That sounds, I don't know why they would strive for that. That doesn't sound fun at all.
It was really fascinating to me because the Nice turn into things, and a lot of times they choose like transportation, like shuttles and stuff, and that is so foreign to me. Like the whole time I was thinking, why is Stephanie like wanting to do this? This doesn't even make sense. But I love that. I love that an alien is acting in an alien way.
Like, do you mean to tell me that you chose to be a shuttle as opposed to like this awesome badass rocket mech that Tina turned into? Like, like I guess as the shuttle, she did have weaponry because she fired it at Grandpa.
I feel very strong Cal vibes in the fact that Tina became a mech.
Probably, yeah.
Cal probably was like, oh, I know exactly what we can do. Have you seen this anime?
And as she was dying, she was like, Zan, just do something badass with my body. Like she like knew going in, she wanted it to be freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know who Nimona is, but
Oh, okay. Nimona is a really good movie on the Netflix.
okay. I gotta have Netflix. Okay, well, look, we're here at like 4 minutes to go till the hour. Here's the question of the hour: are you going to keep reading?
I am. Yep. I am.
What
are
about you,
gonna say?
Leanne?
I might, but it's not going to be something that I will like, oh, I got to go get it right now.
Same.
It's like,
I'm there with you.
it's like, oh, I forgot about that. I guess, oh, it's on sale. Even better. Click.
Apparently it was a graphic novel first. I will not be reading on. You can tell me about it when you eventually do, and if you say like, "Hey, book 2," has anybody read on in the group? Because-
Is book 2 out? I haven't
I'm
looked.
pretty sure book 2 is out and book 3 comes out in December, I think.
Okay.
And I also want to know if anybody's read anything else by this author, because I think they wrote another book that I saw on several Goodreads reviews that people really like.
yeah, it was like 6 something or I don't know,
Something
but
like that.
yeah, people say, yeah, I came here because I read this other book and I really loved this, and then Station Eternity really lost me. Judy, you're the shuttle.
That's great.
Oh, no.
It is out. It's on Kindle. Would continue, but the first for Ford Jasper, right?
Is the second one? The second one's out, right?
Yeah, that's people saying the second Mid-Solar Murders book is out.
No, the Jasper Ford book.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
I've been waiting for that one for years. I know it.
This is it. 6 Wakes.
Yes.
That's the one. That's the Mur Lafferty book that I was reading about in the Goodreads reviews.
Yeah.
And Brenda liked that one better.
That seemed to be the consensus on Goodreads for the people who mentioned it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. So you're gonna read on. You're gonna read on, but not right away, and I'll just wait for the movie to come out. Well, cool. Well, as always, the discussion continues in the Facebook Literally Wasted Lounge and on Discord. So if you're not on there, you should get on there. But I'm pretty sure
Get on Discord.
everybody's
We have a lot
already
of fun
there.
on Discord.
Yeah, Discord is awesome. It's very lively. I'm pretty sure that like even during this discussion, I got 5 notifications. Yep. So yeah, and then we did something different for the future books. Christy, tell us what is happening for our future books.
So y'all decided instead of picking one of the 3 book poll options, y'all were going to choose all 3 of the book poll options. So
You did it.
we're doing that. We're reading The Magician's Daughter by H.G. Perry for May, and then we're reading In the Lives of Puppets or The Lives of Puppets by T.J. Klune, the Puppet one by T.J. Klune for June.
And then Starter Villain.
And then Starter Villain by John Scalzi for July.
So we have our next 3 months planned out for Literally Wasted. So we've never done this before.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But it means you have, now you have this foreknowledge of what's to come, so you can plan accordingly. But yeah, we're calling it summer reading, and it's very exciting. The Magician's Daughter and The Lives of Puppets and Starter Villain for July. So we were gonna make little booklet pins with little stickers and like have that. Maybe one day I think
we need pizza coupons for reading all the summer reading.
Yeah, we'll mail you like $2 and you can get some money off of a personal pan pizza.
Oh, and Carrie mentioned that the ship time on The Magician's Daughter was kind of long on Amazon. So if you go through the Literally Wasted Amazon page, the one that it chooses has a longer ship date than if you just searched on Amazon. So if it's not what you want, start over on a clean Amazon search and do The Magician's Daughter, and it'll the default one is going to be like your normal next day thing. We can't. I don't think we can change it on our side. What shows up on everything.
Yeah, it's an Amazon hack. But yeah, that's exciting. So we've got the next 3 books, the next 3 months planned out. So everyone's excited for the reading plan. So tell your friends, tell everybody. Now that we know we got 3 books, and we'll do summer reading, and it's going to be awesome. And what else? What else do we have?
I heard that in that for Starter Villain, the audiobook is read by Will Wheaton,
That
Oh,
makes sense.
Wesley Crusher.
which is really cool.
He does a few. He's done.
He
some
does.
Scalzi books, right?
Yeah, I think he also did. Did he do Ready?
I think he did Ready Player
He
One.
did Ready Player One too, I think.
Which is the ultimate nerd book.
For real.
I think he does a lot of John Scalzi books. I like him as a narrator.
Did he do Red Shirts?
I think he might have.
It would be really crazy if he did not.
I'm sure he did.
So yeah, very excited. But yeah, and then we were gonna we'll do the same thing with our club meetings, in the first
Oh yeah, so like the first
May, whatever.
the second.
Jeff, we did not read Red Shirts, but I think it might have been on one of the polls.
I'll read
I don't
it.
think it was.
I'll read it with
actually.
you. I'll hijack a poll, and I've read it. I loved it.
So May has 3 Wednesdays in it.
What?
Ooh, bonus.
So we'll
Bonus
probably
Wednesday.
do the club meeting on the 15th and the live discussion on the 29th. But
That remember also is Memorial Day in May, at the end of May.
Aha.
you're right. So, or we might do the 8th and the 22nd. So stay tuned. We'll let you know later.
We'll see for the Magician's Daughter coming up in May. But big thanks to Leanne for being here
Yeah, thank you
in
so
our house.
much.
Look, there she is.
Well, I miss it when you were live at Tucson Charles, because I always worked every Wednesday until 8 p.m. So I was not able to get there. And then COVID happened and the world ended.
Yeah.
And so I was like, yay, this is what I always wanted to stop by and do a
yeah,
live one.
well,
So,
come back, do it again. We'll love to have you back.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much for being here, and thanks, Christy, too.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, stop it. But I hope everybody has a good night and good time up until the next time we see you.
Oh, and also I got to see Benny, everybody.
She
Yay,
did.
play with his
Benny's
little toes.
He's a little guy. Everyone said thanks for co-hosting. Thank you. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Have a good.
We'll see y'all later.
See you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.